This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. As the days get shorter and colder, it can really take a toll on how we feel. Maybe that means calling your grandma, writing a letter to your friend, finally grabbing lunch with someone you haven't seen in a while. And just like reaching out to a friend, starting therapy can take a bit of courage. BetterHelp makes it easy to start therapy. You'll be matched with a licensed therapist based on your needs and preferences so you can focus on your growth and goals. Not happy with your match? You can switch therapists anytime with no hassle. This month, don't wait to reach out, whether that's checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself. BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/PFF. That's betterhelp.com/PFF. Tulane at Memphis, Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. It's a major game in the American Conference and the Group of Six playoff race right now. The current top three favorites to earn the playoff bid from the Group of Six come from the American Conference right now, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. Memphis is third in odds to make the playoff right now at plus 350. Tulane is fifth in odds among Group of Six teams to make the playoff at plus 1200. The winner of this game is set up very nicely to make the American Championship game later on and potentially compete for a college football playoff spot. The loser has a lot of ground to make up with only a few weeks left.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is really the first big domino, I would say, of a lot of head-to-head games in the American that are coming. Tulane's playing Memphis. Navy's playing USF. Navy's also playing Memphis. We got East Carolina in the mix as well with only one loss. North Texas, they're not playing any of the other big teams, but they have a real road here to finishing the season with only one loss. So when you look at the loser of this game might end up being eliminated from the American title game with the way things could shake out, you could not get a bigger game in this conference than this one this Friday night.
So you have the Tulane offense with Jake Retzloff, who we interviewed last year when he was on BYU. Dalton, what should we know when he and the Green Wave of the ball in this game?
This offense is very much centered around Retzloff and his talent, right? We talked earlier in the season about his rushing ability, and he is still their leading rusher this season, but I wanted to look this week at where he is comfortable throwing the football because Memphis has a very good run defense, and they struggle a bit more in coverage now. Where Retzloff has been comfortable this year is throwing in this intermediate 10 to 19 yard range. His 93.2 passing grade in the intermediate range is the second best in the country behind Florida State's Tommy Castellanos. 46 completions in that range is seventh in yards as well, 73% adjusted completion rate. Tulane with guys like Amari Hayes and Shaz Preston and Bryce Bohannon, they don't have a ton of size or speed like big-time ideal athletes at the wide receiver position, but they got a lot of crafty route runners who know how to work their way through zone coverage, deep crossers, 15-yard outs, 12-yard curls where they can sit in zones, and Jake Retzloff has always been really good throwing through the holes in zone coverage. I think you're going to see that as a big emphasis for this Tulane passing game this week. Memphis, pretty good against USF at preventing those deep shots, but the Bulls in that game, even though Memphis won, got a lot of shots in that intermediate range, and it's not a place where Memphis is that comfortable covering, especially with as much zone coverage as they have in their defense, and their linebackers can be a bit vulnerable. So I think a lot of the throws that Jake Retzloff has been comfortable with this season, he's going to be able to continue to make in this Memphis game, and he's going to have to make a lot of them because this could be a high-scoring game.
So I'm looking at the quarterback on Memphis' side of the ball, but I'm looking at him as a runner in this game against Tulane's defense. Can Tulane contain Brendan Lewis on the ground in this one? Memphis has had one of the most dynamic rushing attacks in college football this year. A total of about 21% of their carries have been an explosive run, which is the sixth highest rate in the entire country. And the star of that run game is not a running back. It's their quarterback. And Brendan Lewis, right now, 26 explosive runs, which are 10-plus yard runs. That's third among all quarterbacks in college football this year. And Memphis also has a really good offensive line that's really great at generating push in the ground game right now. They're 12th in the country with 2.5 rushing yards before contact per carry. And Tulane has had some issues slowing down opposing ground games this year with the 14th worst run defense grade in all of college football this year at 69.1, and they've had issues with mobile quarterbacks as well. Army's Cal Hallam ran for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I know Army runs a very triple option-based offense where the quarterback will run the ball a lot. But even Ole Miss's Trinidad Chambliss had 113 yards on the ground. And Bishop Davenport from South Alabama, he had 65 yards on the ground and a touchdown too. So there have been 3 games this year against Tulane where quarterbacks have had at least 50 rushing yards against them. And you have one of the best mobile quarterbacks in the country right now in Brendan Lewis. Containing him on the ground, I think, will be pivotal for Tulane to win this game.
Absolutely agree. And the good thing with Lewis is that you can see him getting healthier, right? The USF game, he didn't quite look himself and still ran for 57 yards in that game and then rebounded last week against Rice with 96 rushing yards. So you look at the way Lewis, just like I said with Retzloff and Tulane, Brendan Lewis is the centerpiece of this offense. But don't forget in that run game, too, 2 pretty good backs in Sutton Smith and Greg DeRosier. Both of them can take it to the house anytime as well. Memphis is dangerous through the air and on the ground, but it all starts with Lewis, and the fact that he looked a bit healthier last Friday against Rice is a good sign for the Tigers.
Definitely. So, Dalton, in this Friday night game, that will be absolutely massive in the American Conference race right now and the Group of 6 playoff race. Who wins between Memphis and Tulane?
Look, I like Tulane a lot. I like their offensive line. I like the talent of Retzloff and their defense, but I think Memphis has they're a little too explosive for them. I think there are at least a little bit of some limitations for Tulane's offense, and you saw last week when things got really fast on them early against UTSA, it got away from them really early in that game, and they're going into another tough road game this week against an awesome offense. And if Brendan Lewis is 100% this week, then I think Memphis is going to look really good. I've got the Tigers at home 35-24. I just don't know that Tulane has enough explosiveness consistently to keep up with Memphis offense on the road. I think Memphis takes another step towards staying in the race for an AAC title game. Actually, now it's just an AC title game.
Yeah.
So they got rid of the athletic. They're not athletic anymore. That's not fair. But either way, an American Conference title game. They still have more big games, especially against Navy at the end of the year. But I think they get a step forward here, get the win at home, score 35 points once again.
I have Memphis winning this one as well, 38-27 over Tulane. I think both quarterbacks in this game will have success against these defenses, but I think the difference in this one is Tulane's run defense has not been very good at all. Memphis's run defense has been outstanding this year, so I think Tulane's offense will be very one-dimensional and very reliant on Jake Retzloff to carry them in this one, while Memphis, meanwhile, can succeed through the air and on the ground. So I think Memphis, because of that, will win this game and rely on the run game enough to victory. I think Memphis will get a major win and still be one of the top favorites to be the playoff team from the Group of 6 conference.